Hello and welcome to the magic of fishing. Welcome also to another wet and wild winter fishing expedition. It was just yesterday I was on the banks of a lovely mill stream, or a carrier stream, of the River Test down in Hampshire, catching some stunning graylings. So if you've not seen that video, check it out. But it was in the teeth of a gale, some of the worst conditions I've ever fished in, certainly without a shelter. And despite the great fishing, it was gale force winds, pelting rain and really cold temperatures, which saw myself and a few of my fellow anglers heading home a bit earlier than expected. It was that bad, our tails between our legs. So I must be a bit of a sucker for this, because I'm back on the banks just 24 hours later. Today I've come to a still water, the beautiful TARN Pond, which is located on Putnam Common in Surrey, and it's another fishery of Farnham Angling Society. Brilliant club that I joined just last year in 2024, and this year 2025 we're only in January, but I'm looking forward to exploring even more of the many waters this club has on offer. As you can see, I'm under the umbrella, the wind's blasting, the rain is drumming down, conditions are going to be tricky again. But a friend of mine at the club did tell me that this stunning old estate lake, TARN Pond, is very shallow, it's very open to the elements. It's in a wooded valley, but it's wide enough that, you know, the big winds blow down it, and certainly today the surface is getting ruffled by these strong blasts of wind. There are some huge bream here, £10 plus if you're lucky, plus some big carp. And I've never fished this water before, but he did tip me off that these big old slabs do like the low pressure conditions during winter. We're still in January, it's late January now, and with this slightly milder temperatures that we're enjoying the last couple of days and this big winds we've had on the water, I just think there's a chance the bream might feed. I'm not expecting to catch much, but we're going to be fishing with feeder, a few dead reds. I've mixed up some cold water groundbait low feed mix, and I've put some dead reds in there, got some live reds for the hook. I'm really going to be sitting it out under this umbrella, hoping to catch, well, anything really on a day like today. It's just impressive that I've got out the house, and if I can bring you a tiny bit of fishing entertainment, that'll be a bonus. There is some work, some very noisy works going on to repair the dam wall at the far end. There's a couple of diggers, big caterpillars going up and down, so apologies for any noise from that during the session. But yeah, if I can bring you a little bit of winter warmth in the shape of a fish or two, I'll go home a happy man. And here comes the rain again, but the light levels really do feel right. Real ripple on the surface out where I'm fishing. Low light due all afternoon, or most of it at least. Acolyte plus 12-foot feeder rod, a bit of backbone for punching a feeder out, resting that on this very handy Preston Innovations log edging to the peg. But he who dares wins is the saying, and despite the nasty conditions for sitting out in, it does feel fishy, as I say, and if I can get even one or two bites in the few hours we've got, it's already after lunch. Nowadays it stays light till maybe 4:30ish, 5ish at a push. But we will have to see whether the fish are in the mood and whether it's warmed up sufficiently in the last day or two, because it was hard frost only a week or so ago. But it does feel good to have got out, and although it's taken a lot of effort to get dressed up, get all the layers back on and pick up all my gear again that was already drying out from yesterday's trip down to Hampshire, it's always good to be out in the fresh air. And despite the noise from the works on the dam, it's a stunning place to sit. Got some real history to it, this place. Lots of carp anglers have fished it over the years, and you may have seen some of my videos from last summer on Warren Pond, which is further up the valley. It's one long chain of estate lakes that have all been dammed off. There's Cut Mill below, and they're all well known in the area and got some history in carp fishing circles, certainly. So it's nice to fish this for the first time, even if it's going to be difficult and the mud is going to be clinging to everything by the time I pack up. And I'm sure it might be somewhere worth coming back over the summer. As always on a winter's fishing trip, nothing can cheer me up more than a bit of cake, thanks to Rachel. Cherry cake this time. In fact, there's almost a bit of a rainbow over there. There's some sun pushing through. Stunning. And lots of bird life here. They don't seem to be put off by the noise from the dam repairs. And the old dead trees and silver birches on the far bank look really skeletal. Real winter picture. And I've even got some company. Good old Neil Waite has turned up. I think quite sensibly waiting in the van for the rain to ease off a bit before coming down with his gear, but good to have some company. So not only is it brightening up at long last, but my mate Neil's turned up and is setting up the next peg along, so twice the chance to prove that fish will feed in the middle of a storm in January. Just look at the difference the sun makes, or a bit blue sky. Suddenly that far bank looks alive with colour, even in winter. Greens and browns and oranges, whites, silvers. Makes such a difference, a bit of sunshine, so good on Neil for getting on the bank and bringing the weather with him. No doubt we'll be back under the brolly at some point, but always good to have double the chance and see what might be working, what might not be. But I do think we'll both be fishing for a bite or two today. Not a bad place to wait for one though. Just look at that, the calm between the storm. Well, certainly after the storm. I think we could be in for more yet, but who'd have thought you'd get a view like that? Completely still, albeit a bit of noise from the construction going on, but what a beautiful scene just 15-20 minutes after I was cowering under the brolly, holding on for dear life. And I think as an angler, that's all you can do with the weather, is try and see the positive in whatever conditions you've got. Not so long ago, the ripple on the surface and the low light level felt right for catching fish. Now, doesn't feel half as fishy. Bright, still, cold, but it's beautiful to look at. So you've just got to take the highs and lows of the great British weather and try and see the positives in whatever you're dealt on the day. And there's some evidence of what the storm's capable of, the last two storms to hit the UK. It's not the Loch Ness Monster, that's a pretty much full-sized tree trunk being gently pushed along in the breeze. Keep that feed going in, casting about every 10 minutes. Now I've got to get past the Loch Ness Monster.
Well, unfortunately, I picked a wrong rod up out the bag.
Did you?
And it was set up for method feeder fishing, which might work, but I'd rather fish ground bait and maggot, I think, this time of year. So it's
amazing how flat it's gone.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
In between the
hurricane that you've got.
The hurricane. Yeah, it's good to have some
stuff
company.
just moved over there.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, there's some small stuff just topping out there. It's one of those days where any sign of fish is going to be a positive.
Yeah. I mean, would have been better if we'd have fished further down the lake towards the dam end, but because they're working down there and there's a great big 360 machine rattling about, I don't think that's the end to be. So,
it's not the most subtle, is it?
In our infinite stupidity, we've moved up the lake.
Get one decent fish between us, I'll be more than happy to have got out.
Well, I won't tell you what Jen said when I said I might actually come and fish for a couple of hours with you.
Thank you, Jen, if you're watching.
Yeah, she'll watch it. Having fished in the hurricane Thursday night, nothing should surprise her, really, should it?
Yeah, and I was in it yesterday.
Yeah, well, we've not had the best of weathers, have we, the last couple of weeks?
Wind's just got up again. A few clouds coming over. They might be on the other side of the calm, but again might improve chances of a bite. I've had good 5 or 6 casts now. Neil's probably only on his 3rd, but no indications as yet. We've got a couple of hours, so have the faith, keep the faith. It is nearly packing up time. And in your words, Nellie's got one. I saw the tip go as well.
What I'd done, I'd come back over that shorter line, John, and I've wetted the ground bait down so that it was a bit more of a cloud. So maybe, you know, you never know. I don't feel that big, but it's a bite, mate.
I saw it go round, my heart was in my mouth. That was incredible. We've been fishing, folks, I would say 3 hours?
Yeah.
Good 3 hours, and we've not had a bite between us until this point. It's probably going on 5 o'clock now, and we're just about to pack up.
Nelly was having his last fag. There you go. A bream.
Brilliant. There are fish in here. And I'm more than happy to be the cameraman on this occasion. It's a feisty one for this time of year as well.
Yeah. He probably knows what's hooked him. There's a lot coming out of the water and being held by that ugly great thing. No, don't tell me it's foul hooked.
He's either wrapped round or...
It's wrapped round. There we
You
go.
got him. Nice work.
Hold out.
That's a proper slab. Yeah, bottom lip, look.
Now down here, John, we call those skimmers. Up north, it's a slab.
That's a good 2.5.
That's 3 plus.
3?
Mate. Yeah. There we go, sir.
That is the magic of winter fishing.
A very cold, very windy day, but persistence pays off.
Brilliant. You've saved the folks at home from a blank video week as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry you have to look at me, peoples, but there you go.
Well, what a turn up for the books. Good old Nelly. I'd really given up hope, I don't know, half an hour ago. We've been giving it a good go, both of us, side by side for 3 hours now. And despite the weather not being quite as bad as predicted, or certainly not in the latter half of the session, neither of us had had a such, you know, not a liner, not a small fish bite, nothing, not even a crush maggot. So I'd really written it off as one of those sessions where it wasn't to be, probably wasn't going to make for much of a video, so was probably going to end up on the cutting room floor, as they used to say. But good old Nellie's managed to conjure up a slab out of nowhere, and that pays me back for the bit of a drubbing I gave him on his beloved River Thames back in the autumn. And it didn't come good for him that day, and I was catching plenty of roach, if you've seen that video. But today he's done me, and he's shown that persistence and focus do pay off. So this will perhaps make a nice little video for you. Not a particularly fish-filled one, but a lovely bit of nature and a bit of wild weather, and some proof that if you stick at it, you can catch, even in the depths of winter. So leave us a comment, tell your mates, stay safe, and I hope to see you again soon on the bank.